item. So I'm going to click over here on the Orders tab. And the next thing I think we'll do is, this will be a big one, is checking inventory. And this will allow you to know if there are the number of impressions that you need to fulfill any campaign during a given time. So what you would do is you come into, it basically sits above My Orders, and you just click on Check Inventory. And in this case, you can either do, it won't let you everything is either standard sizes, it's a master and companion roadblock, or it's a video tag. And so standard sizes will all be listed in the drop-down menu. Some of these will be on your site, some of them may not be. So I'm guessing you will only see what is available on your site as part of your team and the parameters that we set up when we give you a login to DFP. So if you wanted to, say, do a 728 by 90 leaderboard ad, labels are for, you can choose if you want to exclude it, competitive exclusion, or if you don't want it to appear with another ad that's like it. I don't know of anybody who's using that right now, but that's basically what that labels is for. You can also allow the same advertiser exception, which means that if there were two airlines, they could be on the same page together. The thing with labels is that you have to actually go in and label your advertisers that way in order to have that work, and I don't think we've done that. Your choice for settings, again, we do either sponsorship ads or we do standard ads. And so in this particular case, we're going to say we want a standard ad that is going to start on November 11th. We're going to run it through November 30th. And we want to know the maximum number of impressions that are available for that time period. I'm going to leave all of this information the way that it is set at default, because I truly want to know how many I have, and then we will be able to recommend to the customer based on, frequency capping if we want to do that at a later date. So for inventory, you would click on Add Units, and we would go down to AZ Daily Sun. And if you just want it to run of site, so anywhere on the AZ Daily Sun, you would go ahead and click the Include button here. If you want it to run anywhere else, specifically on the AZ Daily Sun site, you would actually click on the link. And then these are all of the sections that are listed below AZ Daily Sun. Any that are in blue, you actually have more subsections underneath them. Anything that is black, that is the final level for it. So if you wanted it to be on Flyerboard, Flyerboard doesn't go any farther than that. There's nothing underneath that to target to. So in this particular case, we're going to say that we want to be on the AZ Daily Sun homepage. And our custom criteria, you have audience segments, keywords, page type, position, and search terms. In this case, we're going to say we want the position to be any one of these positions. If it's mobile, obviously we have to choose a mobile section over here for that to be valid. Otherwise, it will come back as 0. In this particular case, I think what we're going to say is, and you can even type in just ATF, and it will give you Web Above the Fold, and then you would click Add Set. So right now what we're saying is that we need to check inventory for the AZ Daily Sun homepage for anything above the fold from the 11th to the 30th. And we don't need any geography set. so we're just going to click the Check Inventory button. And it is going to come back and say, here is the inventory availability for what you've asked for. There are 138,264 available impressions. 10,248 are reserved by line items that are at the same priority as what we set this one at, or lower. And 1,344 are unavailable. So overall, there are 149,856 matched impressions. Of that, only 138,264 are available. And you can also look and see what line items might contend with this order. So you can look and say, if this was an airline and there's another airline, you might say, hey, you might not want to be on the home page. You might want to be on sports, or you might want to be in travel, or this is a good place for you to be. And so when you click on contending line items, it's going to show you that there are currently 3 higher or equal priority contending line items, and there are none that are lower. And it gives you the information on each one of them, kind of in a synopsis. And when you go back, it takes you out of that whole check inventory thing, obviously. So any questions about that? Does it make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Sure does.
Great, great. So, and let me know if I'm going too fast. Sometimes I get on a roll and I forget that I have an audience. So, okay, so when you're in and you're looking for items that you need to pay attention to, again, things will be under My Orders. You can also look under All Orders, which will be everybody in your group that you have access to. You can look at just orders that are currently delivering, that are in process of delivering, any that are starting soon or ending soon. I've never starred an order, so I think probably if it's one you want to pay attention to, you can go in and star it, and that will give you all of the starred ones that you wanted to look at. You can look at any where the delivery was extended in DSM for whatever reason. You can look at those that are recently viewed, any that are in ready status but haven't started yet. We've had a couple of instances where people expected their ads to start at midnight and they didn't start until noon the next day. That was just a mistake when the ads were being input in the DSM side. And so, you know, good to know if my ad was supposed to start. Typically, campaigns start like at midnight of the morning of that day. And, you know, there may be some that start immediately if it's an emergency one. But you can look at the ones that are ready and haven't started running yet. You can look at any that are in draft status, and, you know, maybe there's a reason why they're hung up, and you can help out with that. Again, you can look at the ones that need creatives, and typically those are ones in your group that you're paying attention to and waiting for the creatives for. Any that are pending approval or that were disapproved, you can look at all the ones that were completed or paused. You can look at all of the archived ones and also anything that's video. They have that kind of broken down. You can do the same thing not only for orders, but all of those same things exist for line items. So the order is basically the container that holds all of the line items. I look at it like the order is everything I need to know for a given time period, and the line items are the specific details for each of those things. So basically the ads that run underneath that order. And the view is a little bit different. You know, in this particular case, it still gives you the all of the information, but it also gives you the line item ID underneath there. And when you look at orders, it gives you the order ID.